Sending love to technology.
Yo, looks like it worked. I'm so excited. Anytime we're messing with technology, connecting other people, trying platforms, you know, going in and out of different ones, it's always fun. But I'm so excited as we have today's guest. Doesn't matter if you're watching this on whatever social media platform, doesn't matter if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to this on a podcast. No matter what, we're going to bring the fire today. We're going to bring a ton of energy. And today's guest, yeah, see, you can hear the energy right there. And if you can see it, you can see like, those aren't spirit fingers. I don't know what those are, but it's like.
These are like my happy hands. That's what we're going to call them.
Oh, I love it. It's awesome. Well, you know, all the time I have these guests on, and I'm like, today's friend. And people are like, geez, like, are you really like friends? And some are new friends, right? Of like 6 months, some are 3 years, some are 4 years. And some are friends from middle school. And this is a friend
as you can get.
Yeah, like this is like you really know someone, right? Yep. Like as it goes. So she really knows I was like the soft spoken when I tell everybody how soft spoken and quiet I was. And now I do public speaking, and my family thinks I'm going through a midlife crisis, hopefully in a good way. Yeah. They see that. And so, you know, that's part of the fun. And I've actually seen the same thing with Kass. I've seen the evolution of what she's done, spoken in over 60 countries, see her, you know, at the grocery store. I see this Nintendo Wii game, and I see her on the cover of it, seen her start her new podcast. How long has your podcast been out with you and Emily?
Emily and I, we're going on almost 6 months, 5 months. 5 months.
Now, I mean, I've seen everything. I've seen the motivational aspect of you gone through it. I mean, it's so fun to see how you're one of those people. It's like, I know you're not fearless, but it seems like it, because I know you see the fear, but you just face it anyways. Yeah. And so we're going to talk about that, because people get stuck all the time. And I think right now with what's going on in the world and the chaos in the world, more and more people are getting caught up and they're focused on the negativity and negativity here, negativity there. And it's like, they're on social media arguing, and they're arguing in their own minds, which is crazy, right? And they're thinking of, I'm going to send this science article to this person and that person, and I'm going to change their minds. And it's like, control what you can control, and it affects their energy. And they wonder why they're having worse relationships and connections and doing worse in their business and worse as spouses and parents and right and everything. And then they feel depressed and down. And so I'm not trying to be hard on anyone. This is just reality check. And so Kass is here to kick us in the butt, in both cheeks, right and the left cheek.
That's right. Swift,
and give us some energy.
Cheeks.
So
that's what I'm good at.
Talk to us. Tell me a little bit. Let's hear just real quickly. Give us like the bird's eye view, 2-minute version of your story. I know you just shared it with my fellow masterminders. A couple of people that have been in the masterminds and heard you in Sundance, Utah, are tuning in, and they're commenting, the ones that are on the live. But I'd love to hear your 2-minute story. And then from there, I know your story goes right into how to get unstuck, some of the mindset hacks and things that you've done that make all the difference.
Yep. Okay. So me talking in a small time frame is hard, but I got this. So, you know, growing up, what I thought I was going to get out of life was to be a stay-at-home mom, and that was going to be fulfilling, and that was going to give me everything that I wanted in life. And in a way it did, and also in a way it didn't, because I felt stuck. I got so used to playing it safe, to not pushing myself, to not expanding myself, to not trying new things, because I was so afraid of failure. So I thought I was taking maybe the easier route, where I'm like, hey, husband, Brian, I'm never going to work a day in my life in our marriage. So just so you know, you're going to have to do all this. And turns out that I didn't think I was very good at motherhood, actually. And I had a very colicky baby, and she let me know all the time that she was upset. And so I felt like a failure. And I was like, this is the one thing that I was never going to fail at. And I felt very stuck. And the problem was, I got so used to playing it safe, where I had dreams at one point, and then I just lowered them, and I lowered my expectations. And you never actually feel fulfilled when you do that. You think you're playing it safe. You think that you're going to protect yourself. And what you end up doing is you feel frustrated. You feel like you don't have passion or purpose. And so I just told my husband, I'm like, there is something in my soul I'm not doing. So what I turned into was a yes girl. And yes, I was afraid, but yes, I did it anyway. And what's cool is I started looking for opportunity, and opportunity was what I found. And I started saying yes to everything that I knew I was underqualified for. So that included doing a ton of live television, working for a company, Zumba Fitness, and promoting their brand and traveling the world and speaking. And it led me to personal development and coaching, because here I was working for a fitness company and traveling the world and teaching people and talking and speaking with them, but they never had questions about physical fitness. They always had questions about getting unstuck. And how do I fix this in my marriage, in my finances, in with my body, with my self-image, with my self-belief? And so what I practice and what I have to do for myself too, because I still have those feelings of feeling stuck. Even last weekend, I was telling Brian, my husband, I'm like, I am just feeling sorry for myself. That's what I'm doing today. Today, I'm just in a mood. I'm just feeling sorry for myself. Some things had not gone how I wanted to or how I expected them.
Does he just smile? Because I know, I mean, I've known Brian. I knew Brian before you knew Brian, right?
Yes,
So,
you did.
but I don't know Brian like you know Brian, but I know Brian.
He's
So
such
what,
amazing.
does he just smile? Like, does he just listen, or is he like, come on?
You know, Brian has heard me so many times give the talk to other people, give the talk to him, give the talk to the kids, give the talk to my friends on the phone, where it's like, you know what that sounds like, babe? That sounds like growth. And I'm like, don't give my own lesson to me, but it's true. Anytime I'm feeling frustrated, it's usually when I'm up against a problem and I need to push myself and I need to expand myself. And it's something that I've actually learned to really like in life, because if you don't have those feelings of, wow, like this doesn't feel right, I need to change something, I need to push myself, then it's kind of, you feel bored, you feel stuck. And I think that you nailed it when we're talking about how the world has been recently. Everybody is stuck in their own way, in their own negativity, and it ain't working for them.
I'm writing right now, right here. I'm taking notes, and the thought that came to my mind is maintaining is fatigue, building is energy. And in anything in life, it's like maintenance is actually a myth. It's like a plant, right? We're growing or we're dying. It's the same thing with our mind. It's the same thing with our physical bodies.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with our relationships and our connections. And that's why maintaining is fatigue, building is energy. And everything is about trying to find ways to have energy. If you want to increase your knowledge on health and wellness, or if you want to increase your knowledge on direct sales, or you want to increase your knowledge on whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That knowledge is supposed to help increase your energy. And if it's not, then you're actually doing it wrong, because the knowledge cannot make up for the energy. It's supposed to help increase the energy as we go. But I think you made an interesting point right there. An important point for everybody is that you're human. You still have those days. I have those days. I remember it was like probably a month ago or something, I felt just completely not motivated at all. And like to Janae, I was like, like this is how people feel. Like this is like I hate this.
Everybody else is feeling what?
It's like I'm like, but I think the difference is we still have those days like everybody else, but we know how to snap out of them quicker, and we suck it up, a little bit. Suck it up, Buttercup, right? A little bit faster than most people. It's not that we don't have them. We still have them. We still have those days where you're just tired and you're drained. And today I was off this morning. I mean, I did my book launches, your rank advancement blueprint, right? This was like, this was like all out, just takes everything. Then I go and do the Sundance Mastermind. And then I just got back from a full 3-day event late last night. Yeah. And then trying to catch up today and get ahead, because I leave to the Maldives, first world problems. I know on Monday, and then Dubai. And so I'm gone for 2 weeks. So then I'm trying to get in all these like daddy daughter dates and like father son hangouts and like get way ahead. And, all of
forget parent guilt and like relationship trying to always maintain these things in our life. And I used to think that it was all about balance, and I actually feel like it's all about counterbalance. Like, I've got to always make sure that I'm making, like, if work is going to be super taxing, then I need to make sure that I'm diving in and taking action and planning things with my friends, with my family, with the people who fuel my soul. And that's exactly how it was. I had a work weekend. I just got home at midnight last night. I started coaching at 7 a.m. this morning. And it's not that you don't have those human thoughts. I always look at it as like every negative thought is kind of like you spill something. And either you can sit there and you can be like, oh, I'm so mad that I spilled that. Man, and look at it. Now my kids are walking through it, and now I've got it on my hands. It's on the walls. It's getting everything messy, everything sticky. You're walking, you can hear it. You're frustrated. Or you can say, oh, yeah, I spilled right there. I'm going to hurry and clean that up. And now I'm going to move in a different direction, because sitting and stewing over it doesn't actually change it. You have to take action. And I always say that clarity comes from action. You won't know what step to take unless you just put one foot in front of the other. And sitting there, and even sometimes we can absorb a lot of knowledge and we think we're making progress, but it's kind of like the difference of running on a treadmill versus running outside. Like, we're not covering real distance. We're just absorbing, and unused, untapped knowledge isn't really power. Like, you got to tap into that, and you have to coach yourself. You have to give the lesson to yourself that you would give your friend who was, complaining about something or not knowing what to do or feeling stuck. So you always say massive results come from massive action, right? Isn't that a Rob Sperry term?
I don't know if it's a Rob Sperry term. You know how when you like hear stuff and then you have your own interpretation, and you're like, did I say that? Did I think that? Is it part of this or that? Full disclosure, that's one of those.
Did that come from me? Am I that great? I think it came from you. I give you credit.
But I think what you were saying right there, I'm going back to, the times when I felt stuck, the times when I felt unmotivated, and the times where I was becoming the broke know-it-all.
Yeah.
And if you know everything but do nothing, you actually know nothing.
Yeah.
You can't say, okay, I'm going to become the professional pianist, or I'm going to become the professional basketball player, I'm going to become the professional tennis player by watching YouTube videos, right? It can help, but only if you learn and then take a lot of action, learn, apply, learn, action. Instead, I think too many people are so worried about doing it wrong that they try to study it to do it perfectly. And they don't understand that doing it wrong is part of learning how to do it right. And that can help you so that you get unstuck. And that can help you so that you get out of your own mind, right? Because we get stuck in our own mind, and it's like, what are other people going to think? And what if they make fun of me? And what if I do this wrong or that wrong? Who cares? It really never matters. How many things do we worry about that a month later we forgot about it completely? And it didn't matter. And it's the whole, people say if it's not going to matter in 3 months, don't spend three minutes. Or if it's going to matter in 3 years, don't spend, even 3 minutes on it.
Yeah, but it's hard. And sometimes that self-loathing, that can actually turn into like your default mode, where you were just like, you're just a self-loather. And the odd thing is, you're the only, like, people in general, we are the only things getting in our way. And it's from lack of confidence and lack of self-belief that we don't take those steps forward. But actually, the only way to get self-belief and self-confidence is taking steps forward. So it's like this double-edged sword where, or, what came first, like the chicken or the egg? Like, the confidence comes from doing things where you're totally unsure of the outcome. Maybe it will flop and maybe it won't. But if you never try, that's a way worse feeling than, oh, I went for it and it was a total flop, and now I'm going to learn from it because now I have more experience.
Yeah, it's so simple, yet so hard for so many. Successful people just do the basics better. And we always have to go back to those basics. So let's say now, for me, I like to give people 3 sets of goals. So in my masterminds, I go through a minimum non-negotiable, which is supposed to be like really, really easy so they can build confidence and create win streaks. Then we do what's called standard goals, which is what you just strive to do every week. And then we do, or every day, some are daily, some are weekly. And then we go through blitz goals. And all 3 of these goals, what I do is now it's like drawing 3 moats that protect your castle of what's the most important to you. And it's it's that protection. And they're all 3 important. So my question for you is, if someone were to get unstuck, and we're just like, Kass and I, just so you know, like this is how I roll. This is how she rolls. Like 5 minutes before, I'm like, hey, anything you want to talk about? Because I just know that she's so good. I'm not worried about it. So this is like complete, just
this
raw.
Is genuine. This is authentic right here.
This is 100% authentic. So if you were to think of, first, let's start with the blitz. Like if someone wants to get unstuck, and it's like you said, right, the all-out massive action. What are some ideas or concepts that you would say that someone should do? And maybe it depends on what they're doing, right? Like whether it's health and wellness or it's their business or whatever, but maybe give us some ideas of like a crazy, this is a blitz, people. So if you get overwhelmed, it's like, it's not going to be every day of your life. Blitzes are for times and seasons for a reason. What would that look like?
You know, I think everybody can relate to a blitz goal of how much money you want to make in the next month. Like that's a very like, okay, I want to make X amount of money this next month, or I want to lose X amount of weight this next month. But, you know, even before we get into this, it's so true what you're saying, because you have to start with the small things, because if you don't feel like a goal crusher, you're never going to get to the blitz goal. I mean, you have to set up with the small things to build that momentum to make you feel like, hey, I can do this. So, or even like building a business, getting 5 new business builders underneath you, or 10 in the next month. So one that I would think for me is, let's say I want 5 new coaching clients. I want 5 new coaching clients by the end of February, because I have some that are done with our program, some renew. I'm always wanting new coaching clients, or even 10 coaching clients. So I need to break that down into not non-negotiable first. What do you call it? It's the
minimum non-negotiable goals would be the minimum. These would be there's the standard, and then there's the blitz. So minimum, standard, blitz.
Okay, so my blitz is, let's get 10 more coaching clients. My standard would be, does it need to be a smaller version of that, or can it be?
Yeah, I would say too, with it, it would be, it's begin with the end in mind, like you just said there, of like, what's the end result you want? And then you reverse engineer and you say, okay, what's the effort based goal that I know for sure I can control that I'm going to do to achieve it? So like if I want to get 5 new coaching clients, maybe it's like, hey, normally I do this, but I'm actually going to be doing 2 reels a day rather than 1 reel a day. Like if social media is my jam, right? I'm doing 2 a day, and then I'm going to the DMs, and I'm going to spend more time in the DMs than normal. Normally my standard is like, I'm doing, 30 DMs a day. I'm going nuts. I'm doing 100 DMs for 3 days, right? So it's like that, where it's result. And then I always like to reverse engineer and say, okay, here are the effort base of these 3 categories.
Yep. So then I'm going to up my reel game, and I have different reels. I do some for my network marketing business. I do some for my coaching clients, and I do some for my podcast. So I need to up the amount that I'm doing on the coaching clients, because usually the other ones yell a little louder, and the coaching clients reels get the short end of the stick. And my minimum would be that I need to dedicate time to engaging with those people who do reply, who say, hey, I want to learn more about them, engaging with them, spending, even if I spent a half hour, which everybody's busy, but I also know that I waste a half hour real easily. So I can spend a half hour getting to those people and really engaging with them so that I can set up the calls, get that meet and greet, and get it done.
Yeah. And I'm thinking as you're sharing that, Kass does this. Like, it's like she doesn't have broken down minimum standard blitz. Like, sometimes we don't know what we do, we just do it.
Yeah.
And she just does it. Like, if you look at, I mean, how many reels do you think you've done the last 60 days?
I mean, it's nuts. Well, what's interesting is Emily and I, my sister and I, we have a podcast, and that's another thing. Like, I want to up the viewership on YouTube. I want to up the listeners on the podcast, and we're releasing new merch. So one day she came
Little Bits of Awesome podcast.
Is our podcast, and it's fun. It's uplifting. It's small little things you can do to train your brain to find the awesome in life. Because even on your worst day, there are awesome things. So she told me, she's like, hey, we need to do reels. And I was like, I have no idea what a reel is. What are we doing? And she's like, yep, I heard somewhere that we have to do reels. So I actually found a training maybe the next day on how to do reels. And I signed us up for the training, and I said, girl, you and I don't know how to do reels, and technology is not really our thing. So we did the training. We started doing reels right away, and instantly, I wouldn't say instantly, but we've been doing reels now for, I don't know, in the last 6 months, I think that I've grown in my Instagram by, 40,000 people.
Yeah, were you at 60,000? Are you over 200,000?
160,000, 164,000, and
crazy.
And Emily has increased by over 100,000.
Wow,
isn't that amazing? And life is always about the little things. You can waste more time thinking about not wanting to do the little things than those little things will ever take up in your day. The other day, I didn't get to work out in the morning, and all day long I was thinking about working out. And I'm like, if I had just jumped on the treadmill right away, I would have spent so much less time thinking about that dang run, because I thought about it for over an hour and I only ran for a half hour.
How much energy do we waste thinking about it? That's the whole Mel Robbins, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's like, you just do it. Like, don't think about it. You wake up to an opportunity clock, right? It's a little bit different than an alarm clock. You find things that you wake up and get excited about. Like, I have things, I've never shared this before publicly, so I'm going to share.
Oh, this is
going to seem, well, it's not sweet, but it's what I wake up to, like, gets me really excited. Is I've got 3 or 4 different investments, and I wake up and the first thing I do is I just look at them. Like, that's it. And for me, it gets me so excited. And even when there's a down day, it doesn't actually bum me out, because then I wouldn't look at it to start my day out. It's just, I'm focusing on, I get it. Some days it's 2 steps forwards, some days it's 3 steps backwards, and then it's 5 steps forwards. Like, I got the long game. But in my mind, like, that just gets me so excited that I'm making sure I'm having my money work for me right as I go. And so I wake up and I'm just like, yeah, like, it's so fun. So you have to figure out what that is. Some people, that's wake up, right?
That's what Brian likes to wake me up with. Hey, look at this investment we're doing. And I'm like, it's so early. Hi, Sarah. I just saw, I think in one of the last times I spoke at your thing, there was everybody give me a hell yeah. Hell
and that was Sarah. She was the one in charge of it. So she had it dialed in. But you got to figure out what that is for you, right? Because each person's going to be a little different. And so many people get on social media and instantly their days drag down. And I think that's your fault. Actually, no, I know it's your fault, because block, unfriend, unfollow. If someone's not adding to your life, I don't care if it's your cousin that you see at family reunions every single year. Well, great. You don't have to block or unfriend them if you're worried about that. You can just mute them, and then you don't see their content anymore where it doesn't affect you. And if something affects you in the morning, great. Don't look at it. Start your day right. It's the whole win the morning, win the day. And I actually think it's win the night, win the day, because you got to set up the night before of what it's going to look like and set the routine where it's like, look, I'm going to wake up in the morning, whether it's going to drink water, or you're going to do your personal development, or you're going to exercise, or whatever it is, right? And you're setting yourself up for success. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but now you're becoming an architect of your life rather than a firefighter. A firefighter is reactive. An architect is designing it. And as we know, it doesn't mean when you design your perfect home, the first design's right. There's always going to be little things that change, but it's more likely to look like you want when you design it.
I mean, that is spot on, because when we're talking about either you're growing or you're dying, either you're building or you're breaking, it's up to you. And I did that with my social media. I have a lot of people that I follow to get inspiring ideas. Maybe they have creative ways that they market their product. Maybe they have creative ways that they do their lighting or whatever it is. And I unfollowed a lot of people that just didn't inspire me, because I don't want social media to be something that drags me down. I actually want it to be a tool for success. I want the people that I'm connecting with to be like-minded people, to be setting up their day as a goal crusher. And, you know, even like fueling your mind in the morning and how you're fueling your body. Like, does that meal make you feel like a goal crusher? Or does that meal make you feel like taking a nap? Like, these are the things that make a difference in your final outcome when you are going to bed. Do you feel like, wow, today was a great day, I'm going to do that again? Or are you just getting beat up by the day? What you do in the first hour of your day is probably a good indicator of how the rest of the day is going to go.
Yeah. And with that said, as far as the block, unfriend, unfollow, as we're finishing up here, maybe you'll have to text me later. Is there anybody from high school that we both know that, of course there is, that you've had to mute or unfollow? There's got to be. You don't have to name names here, but there's got to be.
I do think the past couple years have been like, oh, so you're a negative spreader? Darn it. I'm not your type. I'm not going to be following you anymore. You know, it's like, it is very, I think social media is interesting because people have often asked me, like, why aren't you outspoken about this? Why aren't you outspoken about that? Why aren't you giving us your opinion on this, on politics, on COVID, on the vaccine, on all these things? And my answer is always like, I don't feel called to do that. That's not my like personal mission, because I know that everybody's coming from such a different place, and people don't necessarily know my place of where I'm at or what brought me here. So what I do know is a universal truth is like setting up your morning for success, doing things that help you get closer to your goal, mindset shifts that will move you in an entirely different direction. Those are universal truths that I feel very comfortable sharing, because I don't know even like what country these people are tuning in from. And I don't feel called to put my opinions on their morning routine. You know, I don't want to be the one to spoil their day. I don't want to get muted. That's
well, I think it's important that you just figured out it's niches to riches, and each person needs to figure out what their calling is.
Yep.
And they double down on that, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what that is, but you figure out what it is and you're consistent on it, because your audience follows you for that specific need you're filling in.
Yep.
And so don't be spotty where you don't talk about something and then all of a sudden you do and then you don't. Be consistent on your messaging, because that's what people are following you for. And it's
spotty when you can be a hottie.
Oh wow! This is like going to be a new one-liner that Kass is going to be throwing out at her speaking event.
Does it have a ring
Drop the mic.
Do you like it? Does it have a ring to it?
Got a ring to it. That's going to be like the theme of your message. Well, Kass, where can everybody find you?
They can find me at kassmartin.com. That's KASSMARTIN.com. I've got all kinds of fun things there. Links to I do virtual workouts. I do my podcast. I do coaching. And it's right there on the site, or on Instagram at Kass Martin as well.
Yeah, she's crushing it on the gram. So you'll have to check her out there. She's all over the place, does incredible personal coaching, speaking. She's one of those people that has that contagious energy you just want to be around because it's infectious. and grateful for your leadership and even more importantly, your friendship. Thank you so much for being on Kass. I know that everybody found great value and we all appreciate you, and go give her a follow.
Woohoo! Rob, you're amazing. I love bragging about you. You're doing amazing things, and you really help people find that inner belief in themselves that just like you had doubts, they can have doubts, but just like you have soared, they too can soar. And I love that. And I'm so happy about your book. Congratulations. That is incredible. And I hope you can get all that you need to get done for your amazing trip. Trips are fun, but also exhausting. So I'm sending you lots of good vibes on that trip.
Plan to get ahead. You catch up when you get back, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yep.
It's my mantra: die with memories, not with dreams. So it's,
I love that.
Hey, you can use that one as well.
Well,
we will say goodbye to all of you until the next time.